It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It is time for the Greg Cherry Show. Ladies and gentlemen, I am, of course, Greg Cherry of WrestleMania fame. And joining me, as of right now, it could change tomorrow. You never know. The longest reigning WTC Jack of all trades champion, Jeff Meacham. Jeff, we are definitely going to talk about that as the show progresses. How are you doing today?
It's happy hour. That's all I got to say.
Well, demonetized already. We're not even on the air 30 seconds, and we're already demonetized.
Hey, we've been on the air all 5 minutes. We're good to go. So
I mean, us. Crying out loud.
Right, but within the 5-minute window that YouTube gives us, we're good to go.
So that's why those trailers are as long as they are.
Okay. Damn right.
All right. Well,
so
on today's
show, to the sober guy now. See, he gets it now.
We will talk about Jack of all trades. We're going to talk about the preview. NFL free agency is continuing to be completely insane.
It never ends. And now I have NHL trades to talk about too. So there you go.
There you go. We're going to talk about some weird Iowa laws and, of course, the Wednesday Q&A. If you check out the bottom graphic, that you notice it is changed a little bit. And yes, we did up the amounts of the minimum donation and to spin the wheel, which I know it's not like it's probably not a super popular decision. It is what it is. But $2 for a minimum donation, it's not that much more. And the $10 for a wheel spin is like, if we're going to take up the entire show with wheel spins, we got to make it worth our while,
That's right.
So,
got the belt down because it's heavy on my shoulder. Heavy is the burden that holds the belt, or where's the crown, or whatever the hell.
All right, so let's kick it off.
Yeah, baby.
It was kind of very fitting that Jack of all trades returned this month because it's coming off the heels of this guy right here being on Quizlemania. And
yes,
basically Jack of all trades is my version of Quizlemania. We created it, July of last year, June-July timeframe of last year.
Sounds right.
And a little mini tournament to determine the first champion, which of course was Andy Datson of Wrestle Talk. So that was kind of fitting in that. And then you took the championship from him. You had a successful defense, but we interjected the WTC tournament. So we didn't have Jack of all trades for a while because we didn't want the confusion with the tournament and all that stuff. But it's back. I'm ready to go. I have everything ready for tomorrow. So all the questions are lined up. All the games are lined up. I feel like it's going to be a good time, and I wanted to give everybody as much of a chance as possible to succeed at that game. Jeff, since you haven't defended the title in a while, what are you looking forward to? Because I haven't told you any games because I'm not going to give you any hints.
You told me a damn thing, and you're making me go live on top of it, you muckerfuther. So
suck it. So what are your thoughts?
Flat out said suck it to me. Okay, it's going to be one of those shows. All right. Refresh the drink. Okay, here we go. Okay.
But
I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I'm always excited to be in competition mode. I'm very glad I'm not doing trivia because after seeing you defeat Mr. Perfect 10, I don't want to be a part of any of that shit ever again. I'm good. Thanks. Staying off that shit forever. Because
I'll tell you what.
Just and it's one of the, we were talking about it I think we were talking about it on the air yesterday during what evolved from Talk Wrestling into a Casa D-Teen Studios trio of chaos for almost 2 hours yesterday. I almost missed my damn bus. It was so long. You doing what you did there with Brett, and after, like I said, Brett had went through an entire perfect 10 of a season, perfect 10s all season, I should say. I'm kicking in already. And to see you win with a score of 10, and he got 7, which made it a hell of a game, just was something to behold. And like I said, I'm glad I'm not doing straight trivia anymore. And watching you on Quizlemania reminded me how fun this type of format can be, and how much I enjoyed watching you do it, and how much I remembered enjoyed. Yes, it's nail biting when you're up in the shit. Don't get me wrong. but it was enjoyable. And like I said, I pulled the defense out by the skin of my teeth. I won the damn thing at the last friggin' minute. So I was enlisted at the last minute too. Let's not forget that. I was a replacement on that show, and I ended up winning the whole friggin' thing. So
I mean, it does like stick in my craw a little bit that you beat Tempest, but I didn't. So like,
right? I thought about that. I thought about that during WrestleMania. I'm like, so I beat Tempest at Greg's own game, and Greg couldn't beat him at the game that Tempest became famous for. So
that damn nipple round, I knew I was screwed as soon as that came up. Like, the price of shite is one thing because at least I got points in that round. Right. As soon as the nipples came up, I was like, I am screwed.
Yeah. There's just no way. Yeah, and the thing is, the good part about WrestleMania is you can't actually, much like Jack of all trades, they don't give you the actual, okay, here's what you're going to get during this game. It's like they throw it at you, and here's what it is. I said it in the chat room. The minute you got through Price is Shite having any points, I'm like, okay, he's gonna be a contender here all day. And like I said, I missed a good chunk of it because I was on the bus and my phone died. But the fact that you almost pulled it off, and as you said last week, didn't embarrass yourself was the thing. So I just don't like the idea of embarrassing myself either. I'm very, very self-conscious, despite belief to the contrary, based on how I act on the air around here these days. But I am looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being on screen with people I've never been on screen with before, ever, in my 20 years of doing this nonsense. So it'll be exciting.
Well, you figure somebody who's on the show tomorrow has not been alive for your entire internet career.
Which, again, the more I encounter people like that, the further my spine curves and the remainder of my hair just grays over and over. Like, talking with Josh. Josh watched this, in high school, he said? I think he said?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Josh
the fact that the young lady that's going to be on with us tomorrow was born, if my math is right, after the XMV brand extension, Jesus Christ almighty.
So when she was on the show, she mentioned that she was old, and I just stared at her as like, Jay Shell, I'm twice your age.
Seriously.
Shush. I'm actually more than shush.
Yeah, shush. Thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, geez, man, it's like, not that there's anything wrong. I mean, you want to bring the young people and like usher them into a new era of like wrestling media. And yeah, I haven't been doing this as long as you have, clearly, but like those young minds, you want to have those young minds come in. You want them to have that passion, and that's gonna be fun. I really hope she does well. I really hope all four of you do well, because Maddie and Sat, they both have the wrestling knowledge, because they, if you remember during the tournament, they went to a tie, so they had to go to a tiebreaker for Sat to advance.
Right. Yes.
So the two of them know a little bit about it. I'm really interested to see how this goes, because it could come down to one round that somebody trips up in that gives somebody else the victory. One of the rounds, and I'm not going to tell you what the round is, but I think that might be a round that helps you if you're a trivia guy.
Okay.
That's all I'll say about it. But you have pretty good odds to get the right answer for it anyway. That's all I'll say about it, because that's one of the new rounds.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
And that's all I got to say about that.
What? Oh, by the way, I have it on good authority, not Triple H and Stephanie, but a good authority, that for the WrestleMania watch-alongs, we will have Broken Skull American Lager up in the house.
Oh, there you go.
Liquor store down the street is going to have it on Friday, in theory. I'm being told. I actually went there today, and I'm like, well, here's what I'm looking for. The dude called his supplier. Do y'all carry this? He's I'll have it Friday. I'm like, oh, all right, then I'll see you Friday. Make shit happen. Stir in the pot, kids.
Exactly.
So there'll be far less hard stuff than what's in the glass right now come WrestleMania weekend, because they're in Texas. Stone Cold's going to be there. You got to drink the American lager, right? So anyway.
I've been toying with the idea of going to Raw on Monday.
Really?
Because,
that's right. Oh, that's right, because they're going to be in Pittsburgh this week.
Yeah, Raw's in Pittsburgh. And like, I'm on the fence about it because it's like, we could go there and get it's the final Raw before WrestleMania. And you still want to think that maybe Cody Rhodes shows up.
Right.
Maybe Austin cuts like a backstage promo or something.
Right.
I'm on the fence and I just don't know,
Here's my thing about Monday. The fact that Rollins said, there's not going to be a Raw until I have my moment. You got to think they're going to throw that freaking bone his way, and Cody's going to show up just to pop everybody. Number one. Number two, I think you should go for another reason than to reach out to Gravy and have a indie training reunion. And praise him for trolling every damn buddy for being with Carmella and just being about it. Because God bless the two of them for trolling every damn buddy on the internet. I love every bit of that shit.
Thing is, I don't want to go alone. I don't think Jen wants to go, and Fame is busy. So it's like,
well, well, depending on how much money we've both got stocked up, I'm only a short flight away. So
if you fly all the way out here for a random ass Raw.
Oh, it's not a random ass Raw. It's the Raw before WrestleMania.
It is the Raw before WrestleMania. But
so trust me, with what's going on this coming week and the fact that starting Monday, I have a stream streak of basically 2 straight weeks. I know Aaron's talking about 13 days, which I'm going to plug here in a moment here later. But yeah, he and I are both going to be just round the clock busy come tonight for him, Monday for me. So it's going to be a bonkers time. And JJ, yep. we did see your Heather Holder earlier. It's just we were off the air. So yes, hello. I'm glad JJ's here. Like I said, he and I had a great time with Mikey last night doing the impromptu trio talk wrestling, and looking forward to what appears to be a post WrestleMania hangout. We'll see how that negotiations on that go. But I haven't seen him in person for more than a few hours as far as like hanging out all day for consecutive days since we got accidentally locked up due to a false positive COVID test 2 years ago. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing my boy Jay.
Yeah, I will bring something to light that we discussed doing, possibly. No, because you said you were busy that day. Never mind.
What day is this?
It was the Raw after Mania. Like we talked
about. Oh, okay. Right. So it won't be for the birthday like I thought, but we are apparently going to dinner for his birthday that night, and I got to be over there right around the time we'd be on the air. So
yeah. So basically what we've talked about is we've talked about doing a watch along, the two of us,
yes,
with the Iron Man match that we did 3 years ago.
Right.
Because it's been a while since we've even, like, we talk about it occasionally on the show, but we haven't sat down to watch it together.
No.
So I think that would be a little fun trip down memory lane to see like how well we would do now. And
yeah, it's one of those where I don't know if honestly anybody would get a kick out of it except you and I sitting there watching us do the trivia, but hey, if there's a need for content, throw it up there. Why not? So
exactly.
And I will say this: I will give Jay the credit for being proactive. He and I already have, as you guys know, we have the rest of this year's dad's schedule already booked through New Year's Eve. We already have next year's schedule booked too.
Holy crap!
And it's literally 10 months out. So I just felt like doing it because I made the graphic and I'm proud of the graphic. You, my friend, are officially invited to the first wrestling-centric episode of Dads in 2023.
Oh, there you go. I mean, I'll be down for that.
Exactly. So got to get you on there. So, and I realized after I made that graphic how scary that freaking emoji is because he's freaking showing his teeth at the bottom. This was quite frightening. But you know what? I kept it. Screw it. Whatever. So, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up this year and next year for Dads. He and I are also toying, and this is seriously toying because we're 2 years out from that, but revisiting our SummerSlam retrospective layout for WrestleMania 40, since it is the 40th WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
and doing having one of those go up every weekday between whenever we start and the Friday before WrestleMania here in LA. So I'm sorry, but for WrestleMania, wherever WrestleMania 40 is, because WrestleMania 40, from what I'm being told, is going to be in Vegas. They're going to basically stick to the schedule they had in place, and just, once they get through being in Vegas, okay, so where's the next one going to be now that we know?
Yeah.
Because there's only really two places WrestleMania 40 can be: where it was supposed to be all along, as far as the schedule laying out the way it was in Vegas, or they go back to New York. And for my money, because JJ revealed this to me, or maybe you did, I forget which one you did it, there is no big giant stadium in New York proper because the Jets and the Giants play out at MetLife.
Yeah.
However, they have rebuilt Shea over the ashes of the original Shea Stadium. And us wrestling historians know Shea Stadium was a huge place for the WWF back in the day. Mm-hmm. So JJ and I's working theory was, if it's in Vegas for WrestleMania 2024, we're definitely going. Like, not even a question in our minds about it. If it's at Shea Stadium, we might consider it.
Well, if it was at Yankee Stadium?
If it was at Yankee Stadium, I would go. I just make sure I keep every American League thing I have here. Because I have one Yankees hat that I ironically purchased for the purposes of being in Lizzie Valentine's corner when she was working an indie show out here. I literally bought that hat at a freaking random ass sports store on the way down the freeway with my dad driving on the way to that show. Yeah. It's sitting back here in the closet. It, like, back when I bought the hat, it very much completed the Paul Heyman look for me, but not so much now, obviously. But I would, if WrestleMania 40 is at Yankee Stadium, I will dust off the Yankee hat and bring it with me.
I wouldn't mind seeing it come to like a stadium, like, Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend. Like, that's a pretty big size stadium. Like, it might be a little bit further north, and it's, I don't know.
Well, I mean, they ran the Hoosier Dome, and the Hoosier Dome was still like the place to go, but that's also gone now. And I don't know. I've never been to South Bend. I know you haven't been either. I know it's one of your bucket list things. I don't know how amenities are for 2024 compared to when WrestleMania was at the Hoosier Dome back in 1992. Yeah. So if they've got updated amenities like they have the new stadium out here, shit, I'll go to say I was in Notre Dame. Hell with it. So, there are quite a few places that, if timing and money were right and WrestleMania ran, fill in the blank there, I would go. Josh, the only way you're going to get an Ohio WrestleMania is if it's in freaking Cincinnati, because Miz Dunn said it. They sure as hell like going to Cleveland.
No. What I'm really concerned about, and it's probably going to be coming out here in the next month or so, where the 2023 Royal Rumble is going to be.
I'm curious too.
Because they've been doing the stadium, so obviously any stadium not domed in the Northeast region is pretty much out. Because they're not going to want to rumble in Heinz Field when it's 15 degrees outside. They're just not.
No. That's colossally stupid on their part if they do that.
Yeah. So unless they go back to an arena, I can pretty much kiss the opportunity of having the Rumble back in Pittsburgh. Because it was in Pittsburgh once. I can pretty much kiss that opportunity goodbye.
Well, and the other thing is, where did they run it in a warm climate? Because they're going to be here in LA less than 3 months later for Mania. Do they go to Arizona on purpose? Again, no.
They were just in Arizona.
That's what I'm saying. They haven't been in Southern California proper since 2005. I mean, yeah, they did Anaheim. No, I'm sorry. I almost before that. The last time they did a WrestleMania in California was up in Northern California. So, and that was 2015. They haven't ran a WrestleMania in Los Angeles or Orange County since WrestleMania 21, which I was supposed to go and didn't go. So I mean, again, you I both talked about the fact that, Portland doesn't have a major sports franchise outside of the NBA. So they can't run it in Portland if they want to keep it in a warm area. And plus, Portland will rain on a freaking drop of a dime if they're not careful. So that's out. Seattle, if it's not, scorching hot ass heat, it's pouring down friggin' rain. So Seattle's out for January. Where do you run the Royal Rumble in a climate where you're not going to run the risk of a weather situation when you are so close to a stadium WrestleMania in Southern California? That's the conundrum they have to face.
Yeah, I would really hope that maybe they bring the Rumble back to the Northeast and they just run it in an arena, because
the
Rumble was one of those that, like, the stadium is nice, but I feel like it kind of sucked the air out of the stadium, and maybe it was just the quality of the Rumble matches. But it was like you can run the Rumble in arena. The last one run in arena was 2018 in Philly, and that one was excellent.
It was a good It was a good Rumble. And also the thing with the Rumble is if they run it in a stadium and they're outdoors, the length of the Rumble matches with no real downtime where nobody's in the ring where they can clean up, throw a little heater on the mat or whatever, is dangerous and bad idea. Honestly, I like Brian's suggestion in the chat room. Vegas. And I only say Vegas is a good idea because if the rumors I'm hearing from every damn buddy persist and Vegas is going to have WrestleMania in 2024, hell of a lead-in, have the 2020 Rumble be there.
The thing is, I don't think Las Vegas will have the Rumble because they have Money in the Bank. They're running Money in the Bank in Allegiant Stadium. So I don't think that they're going to go that path and have two major WWE pay-per-views in the same place in a 6-month time frame. It just doesn't seem fair,
Yeah. I like Josh's thing too. The fact that they use basically baseball style stadiums for Rumble is the way to go. However, and again, this is just me, rattling shit off. Again, you run the problem of Seattle having weather issues in January because of the rain up there. So you can't run Seattle. You can't really run the West Coast because we're getting mania. So you can't do that. Going further inward, Nevada doesn't have a professional baseball team stadium that could house a Royal Rumble. They just don't. The furthest west you can be before you start, getting into shit where there's nothing anywhere. Again, it's Arizona. They just ran the Rumble there, like you said, for the baseball stadium. They've got teams in Texas, but again, they're doing WrestleMania in Texas. So it's, I think what we're getting lost in the sauce in is trying to have it not be in the same place twice. And I think that it doesn't have to be the same venue, but it can still be the same state. Like if they had the Rumble at whatever the hell the name of the stadium where the Texas Rangers play or the Houston Astros play,
But they just ran Houston 2 years ago.
Oh, that's right, they did, because that was where they were when they found out about Kobe Bryant. I forgot about that.
Yep. And the thing, but I guess that doesn't make that much of a difference because they ran Philly in 2015 and 2018. So and that would be a 3-year difference too. So I don't know. I hope they know.
It's one of those where if they're going to run a Rumble in a stadium, they have to find a one with a roof. And for whatever reason, you all back there don't want to seem to put roofs over your stadiums in cold weather. It makes no goddamn sense to me that, the freaking Cowboys have a roof over their stadium. They in Texas.
Yeah.
If it snows there, they got a real freaking issue. So there is Toronto.
Maybe they saw what happened in Minnesota and were like, nah, we're going to pass.
Right. It's very true. There is Toronto. I don't know if the Sky Dome or whatever it's called now is still operating, but that's an option. JJ mentioned St. Louis.
They just ran St. Louis.
For the Rumble?
This year's Rumble was in St. Louis.
That's right. Jesus. I get so lost in the fact that the NWA ran St. Louis for the anniversary that I forgot the Rumble went back there too.
Yeah, the Rumble was literally just in St. Louis.
And see, that's the other thing, getting back to Mrs., kind of taking a shot at Cleveland, but he's right. They don't want to run, no offense to anybody in these towns, but smaller shit towns for their big five. They don't want to run Money in the Bank in, blanky blank Wisconsin. Like, what the hell? And you're not going to run and Rumble in Green Bay because that's colossally freaking stupid. Lambeau Field's going to have a snowstorm guaranteed in January. Like, you can almost set your watch to that shit. So definitely Ratnick makes a hell of a funny, but he's got a good point. Do you want a big five over there? Of course not. But
run it in the UK. I'm sure the UK has that'd be perfect. That'd be cool. I'd like to see a Rumble in the UK.
They have not had one mainstream pay-per-view as far as the big five since SummerSlam 30 friggin' years ago.
Yeah.
So
they're supposed to get something in September though. Which is probably why SummerSlam's so damn early.
So is that why they're okay, so because they haven't officially announced the names of the September, October pay-per-views yet, or premium live events, sorry.
I'm sure they're going to cover those after WrestleMania. And maybe, also probably Fightful Select will probably cover that. So go subscribe to Sean.
Yes, definitely.
See, I give free plugs away for everybody that I like stuff for. Like I gave a plug away. It's like, hey, go subscribe to Parts of Unknown. Hey, go subscribe to Sean stuff. Hey, what are you doing over there? Like I need some love too. Granted, I was just
to be fair, Sean gave you the ultimate love.
Well, yeah,
we had that clip saved in the freaking thing here.
He did.
I'm not going to run it. Don't worry, because
we don't have to run it anymore because it's already
because you did it. That's it. There we go. Running in Scotland. What the hell? Hell, have the freaking thing at Hogwarts. Shit, why not?
On that note.
Move along because just clearly drinking too much.
Since we're talking about stadiums anyway, we'll delve into free agency, which I asked this last week. Have the Cowboys done anything?
No.
You
lost Amari Cooper. It's about it.
and we're caught up with Dallas's moves.
That's it. All right, Jeff's out. Drink refresh. Very good. Okay.
Crying out loud.
It's. Yeah. Is it really Ravenclaw Day for real, Josh? That's cool. I didn't know that. Good on them.
We do have to talk about this. As much as it pains Josh.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson to Cleveland.
Oh.
For pretty much the house.
Yeah. They threw every damn thing at him but the actual ownership of the team. Like, for real.
They gave the Texans like 6 draft picks.
Yeah.
And they're giving Watson, I think, Watson's making more than Aaron Rodgers.
Which is horse shit.
By like $80 million.
Hang on, I got an idea. Deshaun Watson deal.
It's $230 million, and it's all guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed money over 5 years.
Let me put it this way. If Cleveland does not win the Super Bowl this year, Cleveland ownership is going to have to answer. They don't have an option. Cleveland has to win the Super Bowl. And this is a team that went, 8-9 this past season? They didn't even make 500. You are throwing this kind of money at a quarterback who has this many personal issues off the field. Cleveland ownership has to realize, and it really should, it may spell disaster for them at sacrifice, but they have to know Cleveland has to win the Super Bowl or the Browns organization is in shambles.
Yeah.
Throwing kind of money at a quarterback who, sure, is a decent fantasy quarterback. Fantasy football wise, he's pretty good. but he's been nowhere near the big game. And now he's going to Cleveland, who has never been to the big game.
Yeah.
You
Let
have
me just
to
say,
be able to produce at that.
Yeah.
And it's not me. It's not me like rooting for Cleveland to do it because AFC North rivalry. But this is just like I have feelings that like if this deal bombs, the Browns might have to leave Cleveland again. Because how do you come back from that?
Yeah. Here's the fact that they actually actively signed Watson with all the shit going on with him. Now you've got Kaepernick rumored coming back to play for Seattle. Well, it is out there. You've got Mayfield possibly going to Detroit with Dorsey, and then talking about the Steelers may even want Baker. There is just so. You talk about a butterfly or a ripple effect. Holy God. Like, this is ridiculous. And let me have the hot take since it's not my show and I don't want to have you throw yourself under the bus. Here's the bottom line here, okay? You got a guy who's got so many personal issues out there being accused of the word I'm about to say. This guy literally raped the Cleveland Browns organization for all that money. If they don't win the Super Bowl, dead in the water. They are up the Ohio River and up shit creek without a paddle. Period.
It would be not as bad if Cleveland didn't guarantee that money.
Yeah, and when you think about it, they're taking the biggest cap hit in recent memory. Like I'm looking at this cap hit per year, not counting the rest of this year because he's getting paid off of the initial thing. But starting next season, 2023, all the way through the end of his contract, he is hitting the cap at an average of just under $55 million a year. A year, not over the course of the contract, per year, which means that non-existent O-line is going to continue not to exist because they can't afford any other goddamn buddy else. Like, great, you got a quarterback that can deliver. Cool. Who the hell's he going to throw to? Who the hell is going to block him from getting killed?
And something we haven't mentioned in all this, Deshaun Watson might not even play all 17 games. He might be suspended for a good chunk of this season.
I was going to say.
So,
you got a guy in a
Cleveland really stepping in. Like, the Browns is the Browns. Like, that's a saying here in Pittsburgh. The Browns is the Browns. And my goodness, did they just Cleveland all over themselves with this?
Yeah. What can Brown do for you? Track it in the house and spread it over the goddamn property. That's what they can do. Yeah. Like, they've got a guy, they have literally bet the house on a guy that may be sitting in jail or suspension halfway through the season. Or worse.
I mean, they'll probably kick off the season with a suspension. He might not play till week 12. And it also depends on how these, civil suits come out. Like if he gets nailed with any of these, it might be worse.
It is so bad. Like it and again, being a Cincinnati family born guy, of course, we're gonna do Iowa later for what do you call it? Weird laws. My mom's family's from Iowa, so this is a fun show for me today. But being a family Bengals born guy, adopted the Cowboys because of Aikman, man, watching Cleveland just shit their bed just makes my day because it just. And again, I love Josh, and I tolerate other Cleveland people in the circle. But they had an opportunity to do.
If you're watching,
what's that?
I said hi, Jesse Devin. If you're watching.
Oh, okay, Jesse. I love. Sorry, I'm sorry, Jesse. I totally forgot it. Yeah, and congrats on the pick line thing, because I know that had to be a mucker feather. I'm so glad you're moving forward with that. Yeah. They had an opportunity to do a lot of great things here with a lot of cool opportunities with all the money they had to throw around, and they just completely shit the bed. Mm-hmm. So hopefully it doesn't backfire on them like they they very well could. And look at this. Ratner makes a good point. Brady has the most rings in recent memory, and he's never, and I mean ever, been the highest paid player in the league. That says volumes. The fact that arguably, I'm saying arguably out loud, the greatest quarterback of all time has never been the highest paid guy in the league. And people are throwing money at Rodgers, Watson, Mayfield to, come save their franchise. Brady's just like, let me go save Tampa and get the hell out of Belichick's bullshit. And he did it.
Yep, he did. And speaking of teams from Florida, Tyreek Hill going from the Chiefs to the Dolphins. That just happened today.
Yeah. RIP Chiefs. Good night, everybody.
Well, I mean, the Steelers lost Juju to Kansas City, so
they did. That's true. But that's a hit and miss. It really is.
Yeah, I like Juju, but he was injured a lot last season, and I don't know. I've always been a Chase Claypool guy because I'm a Notre Dame guy. A lot of people in Steelers Nation don't like him because of how he acted, but it's like, listen, you got a wide receiver who can catch the ball. Watch this tape at Notre Dame. You'll see why he's on the Steelers.
Right.
It's simple as that. I like Chase Claypool. I got his jersey, for crying out loud. I wore it for the draft that Josh and I did for fantasy football. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I wish we did the Greg Cherry show later in the week sometimes, since the draft starts on Thursday, last Thursday in April.
Right.
It's like we can only do a preview and we can do a recap, but we don't get to do like analysis of like the Thursday draft, the Friday draft. I won't be home Saturday, so I can do it then. But it's one of those things where it's like, man, so much can happen in the draft, and we'll see how much.
It's going to be a bonkers time here. Real quick before we move on to Iowa, I just want to talk about the NHL real quick. Anybody that knows me knows I don't like the Ducks. So Hampus Lindholm, who's been with the Ducks seemingly forever, actually is going to Boston, which, neither you or I like Boston. So Hampus Lindholm being in Boston, go there. Stick it up your ass. Claude Giroux's leaving Philadelphia, which has been talked about for all year and the previous year, because he's been looking for an out. He's that guy's franchise, their franchise player. He's the captain forever, and he was looking for an out, and Florida gave it to him because Florida's choked on big donkey forever, and they finally are making moves. They got Robert Haig. We actually got Troy Stetcher from Detroit, which I thought was pretty cool because he played the other night. I think he's debuting tonight or tomorrow night down at the Crypt, so that'll be cool. Marc-Andre Fleury, who was the goalie in Pittsburgh forever, took you guys to 2 cups. At least one.
Yeah, definitely 2009.
Yeah.
He might have been part of the 2016 team.
Yes, he was, because he didn't start with Vegas till the following year, because Vegas didn't start the following year. So 2-time Stanley Cup winner, goes from Pittsburgh, goes to Vegas, takes them to the damn finals. They lose, but, it's whatever. It's Vegas, so ends up in Chicago. He's going to play for freaking Minnesota. So good on him. Just a lot of cool things happening that are kind of under the radar if you're not a hardcore NHL fan. So, but cool things are happening, and the Kings actually have a chance at the playoffs again. Oh my God! So
there you go.
Could happen. We're gonna be talking about hockey in LA in June. Oh. Anyway, all right.
All right. So
Iowa laws with me, half schlocker. This ought to be exciting.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some weird Iowa laws. Again, if you guys want to donate, if you still want to see a wheel spin, it doesn't just have to be at the top of the show. You can donate. If you're watching on the Greg Cherry Brand YouTube, the link is pinned in the description. Feel free to use that. We haven't had a spin of the wheel in a couple weeks now, and it does make me feel a little sad. I'm not going to lie.
That's because poor Brett went and broke Panis every week.
That's true.
Poor bastard.
I beat him in the finals of the tournament. He's like, nope. No.
Bitter critter. Not fuck that guy. I'm good. Nope.
See what happens.
That's right. No good deed goes unpunished, Gregory. Not a one. Lordy.
Maybe we'll get some for tomorrow because I'll have them up. I won't do the wheel spins, but I'll still have the $2 minimum donation if people want.
I love that. Yeah, please.
The conversation and ask questions of everybody there.
Yes, please super chat because if I lose, I'm gonna need to have Greg buy me drinks over PayPal going home. It's gonna be a sad night.
Because like for a show like that, like we kind of have to get along to the game, and we want to make sure that all the contestants have time and whatnot. So like,
yes,
doing the super chats tomorrow that way ensures that we can make sure we read everybody's comments because we're not going to read the chat for that. Like the chat will have the fun that they have, but the super chat it's basically like Quizlemania. Like you have to super chat to get your comment read. There you go. And that's the way it's
which I found wonderful that Adam waited till you guys were writing answers down to super chats. I wish other people that get super chatted, Aaron, would stay on task until a break, Aaron, and actually do that during a break in the action, Aaron. So yeah, anyway.
Well, hey, it is what it is.
I know. I'm gonna catch it for that. That's okay.
All right.
I don't care.
Let's talk about some weird Iowa laws, shall we?
These ought to be good because, like I said, my family's my maternal side of my family's farm was there for generations. So this will be interesting.
Yeah. In Iowa, it is a violation of the law to sell or distribute drugs or narcotics without having first obtained the appropriate Iowa drug tax stamp.
We actually have one that makes sense to start with. Okay, there you go.
I mean, if we're talking about like prescription drugs and stuff, yeah. But if you're talking about like, hey, we have a drug tax stamp, let's sell crack. Then,
pretty sure it doesn't apply to crack or meth. Pretty sure. I mean, in Iowa, who knows? But, I'm just saying.
A man with a mustache may never kiss a woman in public. I guess I'm not going to Iowa.
Right.
Shave, I guess.
Yeah, God forbid we shave her at any point.
What the hell is this?
Oh, God.
Iowa. One-armed piano players must perform for free.
What the Okay.
Haven't they gone through enough?
So here's where that whole thing of how many times did this actually come up before it was put through the legislature? Go, hey, we need to discuss this. How many one-armed piano players blew through the state of Iowa before the government went, what the this is why we drink.
This isn't even like a problem. Like they should be paid for their services. And first and secondly, if you can play the piano with one arm, good on you. Like you should be making kind of money. Why would you take that away from them? They already don't have half of their arms. Why would you take away their income too? That's
they can't do the main thing in Iowa to make money because they can't really farm properly with one arm. How are you going to take away their other means of income? That's a dick move.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh, Lordy.
Also in Iowa, kisses may last for no longer than 5 minutes.
No longer than 5? Sold. I'm good.
I mean, if you're kissing for 5 minutes, it's basically foreplay before sex.
Exactly.
Which I hope we don't read any laws further detail that, but here we go.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know you do.
Also in Iowa, ministers must obtain a permit to carry their liquor across state lines.
Well, I would hope so. You know what?
Why is
technically,
that specific for ministers?
Well,
how many drunk ministers are there in Iowa?
Well, if I were to get in a car and drive across country right now and kept the thing going, I have an ordainment. I have an ordainment. I'm lying, but I have an ordainment. So if I cross state lines, I'm in trouble.
I guess.
Oh boy. Yeah, pretty sure real ministers swear an oath of not doing that shit. So I don't think it's a problem. Anyway,
doctors who treat a person with gonorrhea must report this to the local board of health and include the disease's probable origin.
I am 100% behind that one.
I mean,
especially if that's my doctor I'm going to after that appointment.
Yeah, that's the most uncomfortable contact tracing anybody would have to do.
Yes.
All boxes used to pick hops must be exactly 36 inches long.
That's what she said. Anyway,
hey, if somebody's 36 inches long, I think that's more of an issue than it is something to brag about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 36. Just think about that for a second. Yeah, that's a tripod at that point. That's a walking hazard.
Yeah, those boxes are going yard.
Oh my! Fucking hell!
It's a math joke.
The reference made so much sense. I had to take the headset off. Oh.
Hey-o!
Anyway, yeah. Well, here, wait. If I'm gonna do the hails, I gotta get the right background.
This is why nobody's paying for wheel content, because my jokes are so terrible.
Oh, come on. I enjoy. Okay, wait. I make sure I get the right background and do the hi-yos. There we go. Okay, I'm ready now. Go ahead.
Hey-o! All right.
Hey-o! Hey-o! Yeah.
In Cedar Rapids, Iowa, it is illegal to read persons' palms in the city limits.
But as wrestling fans know, it's perfectly okay to make out with biker babes on the back of motorcycles when you're running an NWO pay-per-view. So it's okay.
Yes.
God bless Cedar Rapids. The NWO's only pay-per-view. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, kids.
In Fort Madison, the fire department is required to practice firefighting for 15 minutes before attending a fire.
Okay, time out.
What a waste of time.
Well, no, just hang on. I think the wording is what the issue is. My thought process is before they go attend their first fire, they just worded it improperly. If you're having to practice every time you go fight a fire for 15 minutes beforehand, that house is going to be a pile of ashes.
Yeah.
That's pardon the extended word here. That's dumb fuckery at its finest if that's what you're doing.
Well, in that same vein,
oh boy,
in Marshalltown, Iowa,
there you go.
Horses are forbidden to eat fire hydrants.
You know, that's one of the times where I don't think martial law should ever be a thing.
Let me ask a question here. First of all, how are you going to punish the horse?
Yeah.
He lives in a stable anyway, so throwing him behind bars is not going to make too much of a difference.
Might be a step up, honestly.
Secondly, how many horses are eating fucking fire hydrants? Yeah. I'm so upset I can't talk right. Why are your horses eating fire hydrants?
And what are your fire hydrants made of where the horse can actively eat the thing?
You must have freaking diamond teeth or something. I don't know.
Jesus. There is some weird shit going on in Marshalltown, Iowa. I don't want to be a part of any of it.
In Mount Vernon, Iowa.
Oh boy.
One must obtain written permission from the city council before throwing bricks into a highway.
All right. So the only question that either of us can possibly ask, there is an option where you can obtain a license to throw a brick across the highway. You're not being dissuaded from doing it. You're actively getting a license to do it, which means they're actively encouraging it.
I'm concerned for who's hired for that position. Because if it's somebody who's just like laid back and just lets anything go, be like, yeah, this looks good. Yeah, go throw bricks. I don't care. It's like
that's one of those things that reminds me of the DMV episode of Married with Children, where Bud Bundy's just passing everybody. The blind guy's getting one. The lady that's no higher than the counter's getting one, but Al Bundy can't get a license.
Yeah.
If you're actively being okay with bricks being thrown across your highway, tasty beverage.
Daniel, to answer your question, no, there aren't. Not that I see, at least.
I'm just going down.
But we are going to close with this one.
Yes.
In Ottumwa, Iowa. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Within the city limits, a man may not wink at any woman he does not know.
We did that one last time, and it still makes no damn sense.
I mean,
it's one of those. So basically, what so the brick throwers. So
well, that's two different towns. That's two different towns. So
that's okay.
Yeah.
How? Okay. So if you can't wink at somebody you don't already know, I think they have a phrase for that. It's called population control. Anyway, that is preventing things from happening. Good night, kids. That's it. There you go. Wow. That's, again, there's a reason my family moved to California. Because shit like that.
we're gonna hit the Wednesday Q&A.
Just trying to look through here, see what we got. Here we go. Who are some realistic free agents we want to see Tony Khan bring to Ring of Honor?
I'm guessing free agents like people that weren't originally signed to Ring of Honor.
Yeah. So of the 81 people that would be fired last year, all of them. No.
See, this is where I feel bad not knowing the indie scene very heavily,
right?
Because I can't really speak to it.
Yeah.
And plus, a bunch of the WWE guys went to AEW. Like, they could send some AEW guys that, and women, quite frankly, that aren't getting a ton of TV time in AEW and throw them in Ring of Honor. Like, give them time to do stuff that if you're not promoting them on AEW shows, then if you own the company anyway, put them in Ring of Honor, give them TV time there. There's more TV time there that they can have an opportunity to grow. Like,
exactly. But again, that's you making sense in wrestling. So, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't apply logic to wrestling as a more for storylines than it is with actual business decisions.
Well, not every time.
Well, yeah. Honestly,
I've done both sides, I know. So
if I was going to throw somebody into Ring of Honor that's not getting a whole lot of TV time right now, Ruby Soho.
Oh God, yes. Seriously, the women, the Ring of Honor women's division was so just starting to really bubble before their hiatus, and now Roxy apparently signed with WWE, and Deanna's got their championship. Which I got no problem with Deanna Prazo being a champion any damn way she wants to be champion, because I love me some Virtuoso. But they need to start building that division back around her again now that everybody's a free agent. So,
yeah.
But for everybody that's
I put Kiera Hogan over in ROH too, just because. I mean, she came to AEW. She didn't have a whole lot of fanfare behind her, but I really like Kiera Hogan. I think she could do well with, the opportunity to do so, because she was twice Knockouts Tag Team Champion with Tasha Steelz. So,
yeah, and she had a great little thing, kind of like a side thing with Mickie James when Mickie was Knockouts Champion. So there is enormous potential there with Kiera. It's just a matter of applying the potential, which we've talked about for years on these shows. Potential is one thing. Executing it and molding it into something sustainable is a whole other thing. So,
yeah.
But for anybody not familiar with Ring of Honor, I will definitely encourage you guys to check out next Friday night's watch along, because we're going to be watching along the entire pay-per-view starting at I think it's 7:00. There you go, 7:00 Eastern. And we're going to be previewing it along with a bunch of other stuff, but we'll get to the plugs toward the end of the hour because we got to get answer more questions.
Yep. Brett has an interesting trivia question. What faction's theme song was originally called Rising Sun? Not according to Spotify, because it's under the new name there. Ooh.
Oh, a faction, eh? Uh-huh.
Faction.
Rising Sun.
See, my initial guess, but I don't think the theme is on Spotify, would be the Orient Express. But I don't know what that song was called.
But they're not a faction. They were only a team at best.
Well, I mean, they could be a faction with, because Fuji did wrestle with them. So that could be a faction.
Well, they would have been a faction had Sato not been replaced by Kato, but because Paul Diamond came in and put on the mask and Sato retired, they never were a 3-man team, maybe once or twice at most. So that's why I'm not guessing that. God, if it's a faction, shit.
Rising Sun.
In fact, it's on Spotify makes it even harder because that's our go-to on the trivia.
I wonder if it's Evolution.
Oh, maybe.
Because it is on Spotify there, but it's called Evolve. Was like the first version,
right?
So,
yeah.
I wonder if that's my guess is Evolution.
All right.
I don't know if I worked it out there, but
I'm curious now. I'll see if I can get the answer before Brett finds it and puts it in the chat room.
Well, I'm sure if you look Rising Sun wrestling theme, it'll come up with Shinsuke, but
right. Rising Sun wrestling faction. All right, there you go. That didn't work. Not in the slightest.
The Social Outcast. Man, I never would.
Jeez, that's a deep ass dive. Good lordy.
Oof.
That is tremendous.
Wow. I never would have got Social Outcast.
Yeah, I honestly did not even remember that they existed, for one thing.
Yeah.
Which shows you how well they used Bo and Curtis in that faction. And who else is in that one? Oh,
Adam Rose.
Heath, I think.
Yeah, Heath was in there.
Heath. Yeah. Is it just not the funniest damn thing that of all three guys in 3MB and that entire group of Social Outcast, Heath is the one that people honestly remember for being the lead guy of both, and he's still kicking around. God bless him, man. I love it.
I mean, he had an Impact World title match not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, Moose beat the shit out of him, but it's Moose. Moose does Moose things. So yeah, I was so happy for Josh Alexander. Don't get me wrong, but Moose has deserved to be the legitimate Impact World Champion for a hot minute.
Yeah,
and I'm glad he is.
So. Well, that's going to do it. It's almost 8:00 here, so
yep, it is that time.
We're going to get you guys ready for Dynamite. Jack of all trades tomorrow, which I'm going to take that off the screen. Jack of all trades tomorrow. It's going to be Jay Shell Nicole, Matty Laws, Sati Nyongi, and the reigning champion, Jeff Meacham, live tomorrow at 5:00 Eastern, right here on the Greg Cherry brand. Exclusively, yes. It's going to be exclusive to the Greg Cherry brand, like all the WTC stuff is. So if you're not subscribed to the Greg Cherry brand and you want to check out Jack of all trades live tomorrow,
get on that shit.
Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. That would be greatly appreciated. And
we've got that. We've got Open Mic Nights back Friday, which I don't know if Greg's had a chance to check that out yet because it's late for you, but man, we have a great time on that show. And then, man, I mean, Greg, next week is the lead-in, man. WrestleMania is on the horizon.
Yes, it is.
And then we got the big 2-day watch along all weekend, man. It's gonna be a tremendous blast. And the best part is, I'm gonna be over here for WrestleMania, so I'll have pretty much a quiet atmosphere except for the kiddo, and he loves wrestling anyway, so it's gonna be awesome.
So there you go. So everybody go check out Dynamite and, of course, check out Jack of All Trades tomorrow. And check us out here every single Wednesday right at 7:00 Eastern right here on the Greg Cherry Show. We will see you all next week. Have a good one.